How did 34 players get drafted before 4-time champ, 3-time All-Star, and 5-time All-Defensive player Draymond Green? The 2012 draft was one of the deepest drafts in recent NBA history, but it still doesn't make any sense how Green was passed on 34 times. His unique skill set, high motor, and positional versatility should have gotten him drafted top 10 or even top 5. And I think he was a much better player and prospect than most players drafted before him. With all that aside, this is what happened to the 34 players drafted before Draymond Green. At number 1, we have Anthony Davis. He has definitely lived up to the hype, as he has a championship with the Lakers, including multiple years finishing top 5 in MVP voting. However, he has recently been plagued with injuries the past couple years, but there's no denying that when he's healthy, he's a top 5 player in the NBA. At number 2, we have KIDD-GILCHRIST. He was an elite athlete and an all-world defensive prospect coming out of college but never developed offensively. He played with the Hornets until midway through the 2019 to 2020 season when he was cut and signed with the Mavs. He hasn't been in the NBA since, signing with the Knicks in 2021, but has recently been using his platform to inspire people struggling with stuttering. At number 3, we have Bradley Beal. He just signed a $250 million contract with the Wizards, so it looks like he'll be spending his whole career there. Definitely a great player and has been one of the top shooting guards in the NBA for a while. At number 4, we have DION. His career started off well with the Cavs, but struggled to find his footing until having a resurgence in Miami in 2017. Always been a very streaky scoring guard, but has had some off-court issues that led to his exit out of the NBA after a short stint in 2020 playing with the Lakers. However, he hasn't gotten another opportunity since. At number 5, we have Thomas Robinson. He was thought to be the perfect 4-man to pair with DeMarcus Cousins on the Sacramento Kings, but it just didn't pan out. He got traded midway through his rookie season to Houston and bounced around to many teams after, and his most recent NBA stint was with the Lakers in 2017. He last played professionally in Puerto Rico in 2022. At number 6, we have Damian Lillard. He recently signed a 2-year, $122 million extension with Portland and has been there his whole career. Always been one of the most prolific three-point shooters in the NBA and is currently looking to bounce back after having abdominal surgery this past season. At number 7, we have Harrison Barnes. He started off his career with the Warriors as a role player and then became a 20-point per game scorer in Dallas. He was traded to the Kings in 2019 and has been there ever since as a stable veteran that can do a bit of everything. At number 8, we have Terrence Ross. He was with Toronto till the 2017 trade deadline when he was dealt to the Magic for Serge Ibaka. He's still with the Magic now and has always been one of the best bench scorers in the NBA and also has some of the best dunks in NBA history. At number 9, we have Andre Drummond. He was an all-star with the Pistons in 2016, traded to the Cavs in 2020, and has bounced around many different teams until signing with the Bulls this year. He has always been one of the best rebounders in the NBA. At number 10, we have Austin Rivers, the son of Doc Rivers. He had his best years under his dad on the Clippers, but has struggled to find consistency ever since. Rivers recently signed with the Timberwolves, but has always been a solid perimeter defender and can be very streaky offensively. At number 11, we have LEONARD. He had a solid stretch with the Trailblazers before having his best seasons with the Heat in 2020 and 2021. However, Leonard was released after using a slur. I won't get into that any further, but he hasn't been in the NBA since. At number 12, we have Jeremy Lamb, who was in the James Harden trade to the Houston Rockets in 2012. He is currently a free agent after a short stint with the Kings. He's had a rocky career with injuries the past few years with the Pacers, but he did hit one of the greatest buzzer beaters ever when he was on the Hornets. At number 13, we have Kendall Marshall. Had to do some digging because his NBA career didn't last long after short stints with the Suns and Lakers, but he was hired on Roy Williams' staff at UNC as a director of recruiting after he went back there to finish his college degree. Marshall was on staff until Williams' retirement in April 2021. At number 14, we have John Henson. He spent the majority of his NBA career with the Bucks as a solid rotational center. He last played for Detroit in 2020 and had a solid season but was never picked up since. He is currently playing professionally in Puerto Rico. Number 15, we have MAURICE HARKLESS. He's bounced around the NBA quite a bit but had his best years with Portland from 2015 to 2019. He's recently traded to the Hawks in the Kevin Huerter trade and is a solid 3-and-D wing. Number 16, we have Royce White. He was drafted by the Rockets but only played for one season, which is for the Kings in 2014. He bounced around playing overseas but is currently running as a Republican representative in a Minnesota district for the 2022 midterms. Number 17, we have Tyler Zeller. He bounced around the NBA quite a bit but enjoyed his best stint with the Celtics. He hasn't been in the NBA since 2020 with the Spurs, and I couldn't find any other information about his current whereabouts. Number 18, we have Terrence Jones. He had a nice start to his career in Houston as an athletic and versatile forward/center. He also had a solid stint with the Pelicans in 2017, but couldn't find a consistent situation after. He last played professionally in Puerto Rico. At number 19, we have Andrew Nicholson. He had a solid start to his career with the Magic, but after getting a massive payday from the Wizards, he couldn't find consistent minutes. Last I could find, he played professionally in China. At number 20, we have Evan Fournier. He had his best years on the Magic from 2014 to 2020, where he became a 20-point-per-game scorer. He signed a 4-year, $78 million deal with the Knicks last summer, and has been in lots of trade talks as of late. At number 21, we have Jared Sullinger. He spent the first 4 years of his career with the Celtics, but was eventually cut by the Suns in 2017 after a trade with the Raptors. He currently plays professionally in China. At number 22, we have Fab Melo. In short, he tragically died of a heart attack in Brazil in 2017. I won't go into that any further, but he had a short stint in the NBA before playing in Brazil until his death. The next 7 guys from number 23 to number 29 didn't have long NBA stints, but I'll briefly go over them. 23rd pick John Jenkins started his career with the Hawks, but bounced around the NBA quite a bit until 2019. He last played professionally in France. 24th pick Jared Cunningham was drafted by the Cavs, but has bounced around the NBA and internationally many times. He was last cut by the Pistons before the start of the 2022 season. 25th pick Tony Wroten enjoyed a nice few years with the Sixers back in 2014 and 2015, and I thought he'd have a long NBA career at the time, but he tore his ACL and never returned to the NBA. He last played professionally in Greece. 26th pick Miles Plumlee had a solid season in Phoenix in 2014, but never matched that after signing a lucrative deal with the Bucks back in 2015, and didn't return to the NBA after his deal expired with the Hawks in 2019. He last played in the NBL in 2020. 27th pick Arnett Moultrie didn't get much NBA action with the Sixers and hasn't been in the NBA since 2014. He last played professionally in China in 2021, but it looks like he's currently living in Dallas. 28th pick Perry Jones had 3 years with the Thunder until 2015 and never returned to the NBA. He recently signed with a professional team based in Asia. And 29th pick MAURICE Teague, the brother of Jeff Teague, didn't get a lot of NBA action when drafted by the Bulls and last played for the Grizzlies in 2018. It looks like he last played for the London Lions overseas this past season. And now we're down to the last 5 players drafted before Draymond Green. At number 30, with the last pick of the first round, we have FESTUS EZELI, Draymond's old teammate. EZELI was a great backup center from 2012 to 2016 on the Warriors, and then was rewarded with a nice contract by the Blazers. He was supposed to start and have a prominent role, but injuries got the best of him, and he never played one game for the Blazers, as he was waived in 2017. He played for the Westchester Knicks in 2021 after finally recovering from his lingering knee injuries, but he was last seen interviewing Warriors players during their championship parade, and it looks like he might have rejoined the team in a broadcasting role. Number 31, we have Jeff Taylor. He had a 3-year stint with the Hornets and played for Real Madrid ever since until 2020. Not much else to say about him, but he tore his Achilles during his best NBA season in 2013. At number 32, we have Tomas SATORANSKY. He didn't come over to the Wizards until 2016, but has been a steady point guard for many years now, despite having a down year with the Pelicans and Wizards this past season. At number 33, we have Bernard James. He played 3 seasons for the Mavericks but never returned to the NBA. He played in France in 2017, but he was actually in the military before coming to the NBA. He's a successful businessman now, starting the Bernard James Foundation and Wild Sky Wonder LLC, according to his Twitter page. And lastly, at number 34, we have Jay Crowder. He has been a great 3-and-D veteran on multiple playoff teams and multiple finals runs, and is currently on the last year of a 3-year deal with the Suns. That was a lot to talk about and a lot to process, as this was definitely one of my longest videos. I tried to condense as much as I could, but I'm sure you can see that there's no way Draymond Green should have been passed on 34 times. I hope you enjoyed this video, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.